Your word is not a whisper. It is not a soft hope waiting for mercy. It is not a maybe. It is not a murmur into the void. Your word is a sword. It does not knock, it opens. You've spent your life at the threshold, praying at the door, begging the heavens, filling journals with affirmations. But now you learn the law that parts the veil. The universe does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your decree. Florence said it clearly. The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Your thoughts, deeds, and words return to you sooner or later with astounding accuracy. So if you have spoken in fear, you have received delay. If you have spoken in doubt, you have received confusion. If you have spoken in need, you have remained in lack. But speak in divine boldness, and the gates will break. This is the law of bold declaration. You do not ask. You announce. You do not beg. You become. You do not chase. You command what is already yours, not as a thief, but as the heir to the kingdom of truth, heir to the substance that forms from faith, heir to the divine supply that needs no proof to begin. You are not hoping for your good. You are calling it forth by name, with the authority of one who remembers who they are. Say this: I am not waiting. I am receiving. I am not asking. I am announcing. I am not lost in search. I am found in truth. Let your word leave your lips like prophecy. Let it echo in your body like a bell of certainty. Let it shape the air around you until the unseen bends in obedience. This is not theater. This is not make-believe. This is divine law. Affirm it now. I speak as one already provided for. I speak as the law in motion. I speak as the voice of alignment. I speak and life answers. This is what Florence meant when she wrote, "Man must prepare for the thing he has asked for, when there isn't the slightest sign of it in sight. Because preparation is not proof. Preparation is declaration. You do not prepare for what you fear. You prepare for what you own. That is what makes your declaration bold. Not loudness, not arrogance, but inner alignment so deep, the outside has no choice but to mirror. But now you must face yourself. You've declared from one mouth and doubted with another. You've written affirmations in the morning and cancelled them by complaint at night. You've spoken, "I am wealthy," while whispering, "I'm still broke." You've shouted, "I am loved," but thought, "No one wants me." This is not bold. This is spiritual contradiction. The law cannot obey confusion. So today, you must decide, once, fully, finally, to never again cancel your word with your mood, to never again declare and then deny, to never again speak in one direction while doubting in another. Speak this the moment fear appears. I do not retreat. I realign. I do not repeat old spells. I declare new outcomes. I do not explain delay. I command arrival. Your boldness does not need volume. It needs certainty. It is not how loud you speak. It is how true, how unwavering, how sacred. Let every word from this moment forward come from the knowing, not the needing. Let your word dress you like royalty, not like a beggar trying to prove they belong. And if you forget, return here, to the one voice that will never doubt you, to the one truth that never changed. Your word is the bridge. Your command is the key. Your belief is the door. And when you declare from wholeness, that door opens, not with noise, but with ease. Daily practice. The mirror of boldness. Each morning, before the world speaks over you, stand in the mirror. Look yourself in the eyes and speak aloud what already belongs to you, not from wish, but from law. Say it once. Say it fully. Say it like it has already unfolded. If you can do this in silence, the law will move loudly, because nothing shakes the world like the voice of someone who remembers who they are. And you are not a seeker anymore. You are not outside the door. You are not waiting for permission. You are the voice. You are the law. You are the arrival. Let the heavens hear you now. Final prophetic declaration. Your word is no longer knocking, it is unlocking. And now that your voice is aligned, you must learn how to trust when the outside stays quiet. For what comes next is not loud, it is divine timing. Now you are ready for the law of invisible delay. You were not meant to climb every wall. You were meant to walk through the opening. You were not born to force every step. You were born to find the way that opens when you speak from truth. You have mistaken blocked paths as tests, delays as signs that you must work harder. You've called it destiny when it was only resistance. But there is a deeper law, one older than effort, one stronger than strategy. The law of the open way. Florence wrote, "The open way is prepared long before you reach it. It waits for the soul who walks by faith, not by sight." This law is not about struggle, not about knocking down every door until one creaks open. It is not about hustling your worth into proof. It is about recognition. The open way is not made by you. It is made for you. And you must stop blocking it with your logic. You say, "But this is the path I planned. I've already invested too much here. It has to be this way." No, beloved. If it does not open, it is not the way. And the moment you stop climbing blocked timelines, the moment you stop proving, striving, pushing, you will hear something ancient stir in the silence. A whisper of alignment, a breath of ease, a direction that does not argue, it welcomes. Say this now. I do not force, I align. I do not chase, I follow peace. I do not demand the closed, I walk with what opens. You were not created to be exhausted. You were created to be guided. And guidance does not shout. It unfolds. But here is the truth that cracks the shell of the old self. You have prayed for answers, but refused to release the outcome. You've said, "Show me the way," but only if it looks like what I imagined. You've asked, "Is there a sign?" but only if it fits your schedule. This is not surrender. This is negotiation with the divine. And the open way does not appear through negotiation. It appears through obedience. So listen now. Release your false paths. Cancel your deadlines. Return your maps. Because the way that is yours does not need to be forced. It only needs to be followed. Florence said it this way. Man's word is his wand filled with magic and power. With one wave, the open way appears. And you have been waving the wand with doubt. You've spoken, but not believed. You've whispered truth, but shouted fear. You've taken steps, but dragged your logic behind every one. That is why the path remained hidden. Because the open way is not for the intellect. It is not for the desperate. It is for the one who trusts before the path is visible. The one who obeys without proof. The one who declares what already exists in spirit. Say this. I walk the way prepared for me, even when I do not see it. I walk by divine knowing, not by outer signs. I walk with the unseen, and it makes the seen move. This is your alignment. Not hustle, not worry, not checklists or certainty. Alignment is your power. But now look closely. How many ways have you forced? How many doors have you kicked open, only to find yourself inside the wrong room? How many dreams have you chased, not because they were yours, but because they were loud, popular, logical, safe? And how many times did your soul go silent while your mouth said, "This is fine"? Let me tell you what Florence whispered to the ones too tired to try again. Man's supply is never limited. He limits it by his own mind. You've been walking in circles, Not because the way was closed, but because you refused to believe that a better one was already open. It's time. It is time to surrender the maze. It is time to walk the meadow. It is time to take the hand of ease and say, "Lead me." Speak this now. I do not worship hard. I worship harmony. I do not glorify blocks. I bless what flows. I do not prove. I move in peace. And this is your practice. Every morning, before decision, ask not what is efficient. Ask what is aligned. Then bless the way that feels like breath, not the one that drags like chains. If you can walk this way in silence, the law will rise to meet your feet, because the open way is not your invention. It is your inheritance. And when you walk it, life does not resist you, it recognizes you. Now pause here. Feel what is softening. Feel what is letting go. Let the old path dissolve. Let the false plan fall. You are walking differently now, and everything ahead can feel it. There is a path where the stones rise to meet your feet, where the wind is behind you, where the delays fall away like broken chains. You have not missed it. You've simply been too loyal to struggle. You were taught that the harder path is holier, that effort equals worth, that divine reward must be earned through exhaustion. But hear me now, that was not God. That was fear in a holy costume. You do not have to suffer to be chosen. You were chosen before you suffered. And now, you are being asked to step into the life that doesn't exhaust you to prove it's real, but expands you just by being true. Florence said, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for great abundance for me. I am an irresistible magnet for all that belongs to me by divine right." She didn't say, "Make the way." She said, "Open it." Because the way already exists. Your job is not to create destiny. Your job is to align with it. You are not a beggar on the side of the road. You are not a soldier fighting through mud. You are not a test subject in some divine experiment. You are the beloved. And there is a way, carved in light, that only opens when you walk as if it's already yours. So walk as one who is not lost. Walk as one who is expected. Say this with your breath. The way is open before me. I walk with knowing. I walk with grace. I walk as one who is already received. You do not need to see the next 10 steps. You only need to take the one that feels like peace. You will know it by the silence it carries, by the weight that falls off your chest, by the absence of panic in your belly, by the rhythm of breath that says, "This is home." But if you keep calling chaos ambition, if you keep labeling force as faith, if you keep dragging dead plans through fresh seasons, you will miss the road that needs no drag at all. Let me ask you now, what are you still pushing that no longer belongs to you? What relationship, what project, what version of success, what old identity that fears stillness more than failure? Let it go. Let it grieve itself out of your system. Let it unravel without your interference. Because once your hands are empty, you will see what they were meant to carry. Florence said it this way: "No man is your friend. No man is your enemy. Every man is your teacher." So what if even the blocked path was a teacher? What if the delays weren't punishments, but instructions? What if they taught you to recognize ease, to honor energy, to stop choosing doors that only open by bruising you? You are no longer a servant to friction. You are a servant to flow. Let these words be your realignment. I no longer glorify the climb. I bless the way that opens. I no longer chase the unavailable. I receive what runs toward me. I no longer confuse struggle with sanctity. I let ease be my compass. Let the law adjust your course. Let your soul take the lead. Let spirit remind you, you are not late. You are no longer off track. You are no longer missing the point. You are simply ready now. Ready to stop holding the wrong map. Ready to stop knocking where you're not welcome. Ready to stop waiting for permission to pivot. And if you want to see this law work, you must obey the part that's hardest. You must do nothing when nothing flows, not out of laziness, out of trust. If the path is blocked, you do not hammer it into opening. You turn, you soften, you speak the truth, and you ask, where is the way that already welcomes me? Speak this now when delay arises. I do not prove. I pivot. I do not push. I pause. I do not settle for resistance. I wait for recognition. Because here is what's written into the foundation of divine law. What is truly yours cannot be taken, cannot be blocked, cannot be missed if you stay aligned. And that alignment comes from inside. From listening when it would be easier to perform. From releasing when it would be safer to cling. From walking away before your soul pays the price. So let us practice. Close your eyes if you need to. Place your hand on your chest and say this. I welcome the path that does not punish me. I welcome the route that remembers me. I welcome the rhythm that restores me. The open way is not ahead of me. It is beneath me, and I walk it now. And now that your feet have found new ground, you must remember, the path unfolds in response to your voice. You are not just walking it, you are activating it. And once you walk the open way, you must speak what belongs to you on it. You are no longer standing at the gate. You are no longer outside your own life. You are walking now, not because you see every step, but because your spirit said yes. And as you walk, you must speak, not timidly, not conditionally, not with apology to your past. You must speak like the path is listening, because it is. The open way does not just respond to presence, it responds to command. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. And what you see must be spoken aloud until it forms, until it bends the unseen, until the invisible becomes obedient to your tone. This is why the open way folds into existence when you speak what belongs to you, not what you hope for, not what you might deserve, but what has always waited just beyond your disbelief. Say it now. I walk as if I am expected. I speak as if I am heard. I receive as if it is already done. Because to walk the open way is not just to move in ease. It is to claim from ease, to declare from knowing, to call what is yours without trembling. How do you do this? You stop saying things like, I'll believe it when I see it. I hope it works out. I'm trying my best. These are the words of the blocked, the hesitant, the almost. But you are no longer almost. You are arrival in motion. You are fulfillment unfolding. So let's break the old spell now. The spell of vague language, of spiritual shyness. Let this become your decree. I do not wait to be chosen. I walk as the chosen. I do not beg life to move. I announce where I'm going. I do not fear closed doors. I recognize divine detours. And with every step, you bless the land beneath your feet. Not because it is perfect, but because it is yours. Because the law does not bless the forced. It blesses the faithful. So let me speak to the part of you that still wants to return to effort, to self-sacrifice, to earning it. Let me speak to your tired self. There is no trophy for exhaustion. There is no crown for depletion. There is only alignment or delay. And you have chosen alignment. So act like the universe heard you. Walk like your good is on its way. And speak as one who no longer doubts the delivery. Florence said, There is no loss in divine mind. Therefore, you cannot lose anything that is rightfully yours. So if the path you were on disappeared, bless it. It was never the open way. If the person left, release them. They were never aligned with your path of ease. If the job, the plan, The project collapsed. Do not mourn the rubble, dance in the clearing. For now, the law has room to move. And when you walk the open way, even your losses bow to your becoming. Here is your sacred practice. Each day, take one steppany step and declare as you do, "This is my path, this is my peace, this is my preparation for the unseen." It could be a phone call. It could be rest. It could be walking away. It could be starting again. But whatever you do, do not return to the blocked wall. Do not go back to effort worship. Do not carry the guilt of walking away from struggle. You are not betraying the world by choosing ease. You are obeying God. Because divine law is never chaotic. It is clear, it is smooth, it is open, and you were made to glide. Let this be your mantra now. I walk with what welcomes me. I speak what prepares the way. I trust what does not rush me. The path is ready, and so am I. Let that echo in your body. Let it rearrange your spine. Let it lift your head. Let it soften your breath. You are not rushing anymore. You are remembering. You are not proving anymore. You are possessing. You are not trying to be ready. You are walking as the one who already is. The open way does not arrive when you are perfect. It arrives when you speak from peace, and it stays open for the one who walks without fear. And now that you walk the open way, you must learn to speak what belongs to you. For the voice that opens paths is the same voice that calls blessings into form. You are ready for the next law, the law of bold declaration. You do not speak to describe your life. You speak to shape it. You are not a reporter of reality. You are its architect, and every sentence you speak is a brick laid in the direction of your becoming. Florence said, "Your word is your wand." She did not say your thought. She did not say your wish. She said your word. Because your life rises from the vibrations of your voice, not from what you hope, but from what you declare. You've been taught to speak what's real, to be honest about your struggle, to call things as they are. But let me tell you a higher truth. If you speak what is, you will stay in what is. If you speak lack, you will harvest it. If you speak fear, you will live beneath it. If you speak waiting, you will never arrive. But if you dare to speak the world you do not yet see, that world begins to take shape. First, in silence. Then, in shadow. Then, in substance, because the invisible listens. And the law obeys only one voice, the voice that speaks from faith. Say this now. All that is mine now flows to me through divine channels. There is no delay in God's mind, and I walk by that mind. You do not need to scream it. You only need to mean it, because your words are not casual. They are commands. Every time you say, "I don't know," the law says, "Very well, confusion it is." Every time you say, "It never works for me," the law says, "Understood, let it fail again." Every time you say, "I'm broke," the law says, "Your word is my instruction," lack continues. This is not punishment. This is precision. You are not cursed. You are just obeyed. You've been walking through a world built by your own sentences. And now you will speak differently. Because your voice is holy ground, and your words are harvest. No more seedless language. No more empty noise. No more spells of limitation cast by habit. Now you speak with vision. Now you speak with discipline. Now you speak with reverence. Because heaven bends to what leaves your lips. Say it again. My words are my world. My voice is my wand. I speak only what aligns with divine law, and the law performs my declaration. Let every phrase you speak be a door that opens, a field that blooms, a cloud that rains provision. There is no such thing as a harmless word. Not in the spirit, not in the law, Florence said. Man must prepare for the thing he has spoken, even before he sees it appear. You do not wait for confirmation. You speak in completion. You speak it done. And every day you must choose. Do you want to express your fear or your future? Because one will pass and the other will plant itself. Here is your test. Listen to your conversations. The way you talk about money. The way you describe your body. The way you label your relationships. The way you predict your future. Every word is either a withdrawal from abundance or a deposit into it. You are always speaking spells. The question is, are you cursing or creating? Say this aloud. I no longer use my voice for fear. I no longer declare delay. I no longer agree with lack. My word is sacred. My word is my proof. My word is the gate to my abundance. This is not fantasy. This is not denial. This is divine alignment. You are not ignoring the facts. You are overriding them. You are no longer describing life. You are deciding it. Every sentence is a signature. Every phrase is a prophecy. Every declaration is a mirror. And the world is already responding. So from this moment forward, you do not say, someday. You do not say, maybe. You do not say, I hope so. You say, I am. I have. It is. Because God does not speak in hesitation, and you were made in that same image. Here is your daily ritual. Before you speak about your life, pause. Ask your spirit, does this sentence serve the future I desire? If not, do not speak it. You are not obligated to repeat the old spell. You are not required to honor your wounds with language. You are allowed to cancel the vocabulary of lack. Even in silence, you are allowed to choose sacred speech. Because the law is listening, and it will fulfill every word that is spoken with conviction. Let this be your practice now. Today, I speak only harvest. Today, I describe only alignment. Today, I allow no word to cancel my good. The universe does not delay because of timing. It delays because your word keeps contradicting your faith. But not anymore. You are deliberate now. You are sharp. You are quiet when you doubt, and loud when you believe. And every day, your world becomes more and more familiar because you've already spoken it so many times before it arrived. This is how the law obeys, not when you're ready, but when your word is. And now your word is clean. Now your word is clear. Now your word is holy. You do not speak for attention. You speak for manifestation. You do not talk about your past. You declare your pattern broken. You do not echo fear. You echo God. You echo truth. You echo alignment. You echo the world that already exists in divine mind. And now it begins to appear, line by line, word by word, obedient to the sound of the one who finally speaks as if it's done. You are no longer careless. You are no longer random. You are no longer bound by your old vocabulary. Your word is not a mirror. It is a seed, and it will grow. Because now, you only speak of harvest. You do not get what you hope for. You get what you assume. This is the law, Florence, buried in plain sight, the most daring, most divine secret. Assumption is creation, not desire, not pleading, not trying, but becoming. Now, before anything changes, Florence said, faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly, not waits accordingly, not worries accordingly, acts accordingly. That means you walk like it's yours. You breathe like it's yours. You move like heaven has already said yes, because it has. You've spent your life watching for signs, counting the evidence, weighing the chances, checking the balance, reading the room. But the law doesn't read the room, it reads your spirit. And if your spirit says, I am still waiting, the world will say, then I will keep you waiting. But if your spirit says, it is done, then creation answers, so be it. You do not wait for proof, you walk as the proof. Say this now. I assume success. I assume blessing. I assume ease, because heaven is not hesitant, and neither am I. Assumption is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is you syncing with the timeline that already exists in divine mind. There is no ego in assumption, only obedience to spiritual law. Because Florence never taught you to try, she taught you to be the one who already has the thing. To spend as if it's returning. To speak as if it's unfolding. To walk as if the way is made. Not because you're faking it, but because you know the law. And the law does not activate for the timid. It activates for the aligned. Every time you say, I hope it works, you drop out of power. Every time you say, we'll see what happens, you surrender your authority. Every time you act like it might not arrive, it doesn't. Not because you're punished, but because your assumption was delay, and the law obeys the shape of your expectation. So let me ask you now, what are you still waiting to feel ready for? The love? The money? The calling? The healing? You say, I'll feel it when it arrives. But in truth, it arrives when you feel it. It appears when you already walk in its posture. It flows when you've made space through faith. Florence wrote, Man must prepare for the thing he has asked for, when there isn't the slightest sign of it in sight. So stop praying for the rain and start carrying the umbrella. Stop asking for the door and start holding your hand out for the key. Stop saying, I'll believe it when I see it. Start saying, I'll see it because I believe it. Say this, I walk like it's already mine. I speak from answered prayer. I give like supply cannot run out. I choose as if I cannot fail. That is what the law of assumed success demands. That your movements preach what your mouth already declared. No more partial faith. No more just-in-case plans. No more emotional negotiations with fear. You are done apologizing to doubt. You are done pacing by the mailbox. You are done asking God for permission to believe. You believe. You align. You assume. And everything else must match. Because assumption makes it impossible to lose. You've already become the version of you who received it. So even when delay shows up, it cannot shake what you've already embodied. Even when silence stretches out, it cannot undo what's already true in spirit. Even when circumstances lie, they cannot survive the voice that says, I already have it. Say this now. I move like I've arrived. I live from completion. I love from abundance. I lead from divine success. You no longer walk with hope in your eyes. You walk with knowing in your spine. And that knowing shifts the atmosphere. That knowing bends matter. That knowing rewrites your body language, your tone, your energy, your decisions. You are not faking it. You are remembering it. This is not performance. This is prophetic alignment. You are no longer becoming successful. You are revealing the success that always belonged to you. Because heaven never withholds. Heaven waits for recognition. And you recognize it now. You are the answered prayer. You are the door already open. You are the one who no longer needs confirmation to walk like it's done. You are no longer making decisions based on what you see. You are making them based on what you know. Because what you see is the echo, but what you assume is the origin. The world is catching up to your conviction, not the other way around. So today, you stop checking the mirror of life for validation. You stop reading your bank account like a prophecy You stop measuring your faith by how fast it arrives. Because the one who assumes success does not flinch when proof is delayed. They are the proof. They've become the energy of completion. And the law responds to completion. Like a bell responds to touch. It rings, Florence Scovel Shinn said. The things man seeks are seeking him, but it is his fear that keeps them away. So if you are still waiting, it is not because you are unworthy. It is because your assumption is still mixed with fear. You say, what if it doesn't happen? What if I'm wrong? What if I look foolish? But the law does not serve the cautious. The law serves the certain. So let this be your new what if. What if the delay was only waiting for your assumption to solidify? What if the blessing was already in motion, but your language still whispered lack? What if you're not unprepared? You're just unaligned. You do not need to become better. You need to become convinced. Say this aloud. I do not need evidence. I am evidence. I do not need signs. I am the sign. I do not ask, when will it happen? I declare. It is unfolding through me now. And with that declaration, you stop making decisions based on fear. You stop calculating from lack. You stop hesitating at the edge of destiny. Because now you are moving from fullness, from prophecy, from divine certainty. Every action you take now is sacred, not because of how hard it is, but because of how true it is. You give as one who already has. You rest as one who is already held. You show up not to get something, but to reflect what you already are. Even in your stillness, your assumption is building the bridge. Even in your quiet, the law is moving the pieces, because your frequency has changed. And the law does not wait for perfect behavior. It waits for spiritual certainty. You no longer hope you are worthy. You know that you are. You no longer request. You release. You no longer prepare with anxiety. You prepare with trust. Florence wrote, "The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Man's thoughts, deeds, and words return to him sooner or later with astounding accuracy. So now your assumption is the boomerang. You do not chase it. You simply let it fly and go live as if it has already returned. This is not delusion. This is discipline. To act as if it's done when nothing yet reflects it, that is spiritual mastery. To assume success while still surrounded by delay, that is divine obedience. To give thanks before the door opens, that is co-creating with God. Say this now. I walk into rooms as if they've been waiting for me. I take up space as if I've already made history. I bless others as if I'll never run out. I speak from arrival because I've already arrived. You are not pretending. You are fulfilling. You are not fantasizing. You are rehearsing the inevitable. Every breath says yes. Every step says now. Every choice says, this is already mine. And let me speak to the part of you that still fears looking foolish, that still wants proof before commitment, that still wonders, am I allowed to assume this much good? Yes. You are not only allowed, you are required, because heaven cannot deliver what you will not claim. The law cannot move where you have not already arrived in spirit. You must become the person who has the thing before the thing can find the person. That's not magic. That's mathematics of the soul. You are not becoming worthy of the dream. You are becoming identical to it. In tone, in trust, in timing. Say this again. I walk with no need to prove. I speak with no need to beg. I live with no need to wait. My assumption is the permission, and my faith is the form. And now, even your silence speaks volumes. Even your presence shifts rooms. Even your stillness calls things into being, because you are no longer requesting alignment. You are alignment. And your world is simply catching up to what your spirit already knew. You are the one who cannot lose, because in the language of divine law, you already won. And when you walk as if it's already done, you must also clear what says you're unworthy to receive it. You will never receive what you believe you don't deserve, not because the law withholds, but because you block what your heart will not hold. You say you want abundance. You pray for love. You ask for the door to open. But deep beneath those prayers, there is a whisper. Maybe I haven't earned it. Maybe I still need to prove something. Maybe God is still punishing me for the past. That whisper has more power than your loudest affirmation, because the law responds to your dominant belief, not your volume. Florence said, "Man cannot enter the kingdom if he feels unworthy of it." And you have been standing at the edge of your answered prayer, but afraid to walk in. Not because you don't want it, but because you still think you must deserve it first. You still think healing comes after guilt, that joy comes after endurance, that goodness must be earned through suffering. But that is not divine law. That is human shame, wearing holy robes. You are not on trial. You are on return. You are not condemned. You are being called home. And the moment you see that, the blessing can finally stay. Say this now. I am not waiting to deserve it. I am already worthy. I do not earn what I inherit. You were not born to beg. You were not created to chase favor. You were not sent here to spend your life apologizing for being alive. You are a child of the Most High. That is your name. That is your title. That is your entrance into the kingdom, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. And yet, you've lived in inner exile, punishing yourself with delay, sabotaging your success when it gets too close, losing the love you swore you finally received, not because it wasn't real, but because some part of you said, "I don't deserve this yet." That belief is the only thing blocking the flow. Not timing, not enemies, not karma, just one belief. I must suffer before I'm allowed to receive. But Florence shattered that lie. She taught, there is no truth in fear. There is no God in punishment, only in release. So let me speak to the part of you that still flinches when good things happen. That wonders how long it will last. That waits for the next bad thing to balance it out. That is not spiritual wisdom. That is unhealed fear. And today, you clean the inner altar. You remove the guilt you inherited from parents who were never shown their own worth. You release the religious shame that told you God rewards suffering. You lay down the voice in your head that said, be smaller to stay safe. Because you were never meant to carry those chains. Say this now. I release inherited shame. I cancel unconscious vows to suffer. I remove the inner blocks to my receiving. I am not a beggar. I am the beloved, and what belongs to me recognizes me. You are not punished for your past. You are prepared by it. The mistake did not ruin your destiny. The delay did not cancel the calling. The failure did not disqualify your name. Your name was written in grace. And grace is not earned, it is remembered. You no longer have to prove that you're enough. You already are. You no longer need life to punish you into growth. You've outgrown the need to suffer. Florence wrote, man must stop condemning himself if he would obtain his heart's desire. So, if you want to be wealthy, you must no longer feel guilty for wanting more. If you want to be loved, you must stop identifying with being abandoned. If you want to be free, you must no longer call your cage a lesson. You are allowed to live without explaining it. You are allowed to receive without feeling bad about it. You are allowed to shine without toning it down to make others comfortable. Because every part of you that still feels unworthy is a lie that no longer fits. Let it fall now, like a robe too small, like a name that never suited you. like a script someone else handed you, but you never agreed to. Say it again. I do not prove, I receive. I do not fear my blessing. I hold it. I do not explain my joy. I embody it. Your worthiness is not up for negotiation. Not with others. Not with your past. Not even with yourself. It was decided before you arrived, and nothing you've done has cancelled it. So now, you no longer sabotage the good. You no longer delay your miracle out of shame. You no longer punish yourself through struggle. You rise. You inherit. You walk in. Not because you've earned it, but because it was always yours. You are not asking for something outside yourself. You are reclaiming something forgotten. You were born with the vibration of enough, but the world gave you different scripts, taught you to doubt, to shrink, to earn your existence with pain. So now, you must return, not to effort, but to truth. Because the law does not give to the most desperate. It gives to the most aligned. And alignment begins with one truth. I am worthy. Not someday. Not once I heal everything. Not once I prove it through kindness or sacrifice. But now, as you are. Because the universe doesn't love you later. It loves you already. Say this now. I am not waiting to become worthy. I am standing in it. I no longer borrow my value from performance. I no longer wait for permission to rise. I am enough, and I walk like it. Because here is what Florence knew. If you feel unworthy, you will unconsciously block the very thing you ask for. You'll find reasons to delay the breakthrough. You'll spend what you earn. You'll leave love when it feels too calm. You'll sabotage the very peace you prayed for, because some part of you still believes you don't deserve it. But that part, that voice of unworthiness, it's not you. It's a visitor. A ghost. An old imprint from someone else's fear. And today, you tell it to leave. Say it. I am no longer the echo of rejection. I am the voice of inheritance. I am not the pattern of shame. I am the breaker of it. I am no longer the child who had to earn love. I am the woman. I am the man. I am the soul who remembers they were always loved. You do not owe the world a smaller version of yourself. You do not owe guilt to your ancestors. You do not owe apology to the blessing. You owe only this: to receive with reverence, to rise with gratitude, to embody your worth without question. You are not arrogant. You are available. You are not boastful. You are obedient. You are not selfish. You are sovereign. Because what you carry inside you was not given by man, and it cannot be taken by fear. Florence wrote, "Every man is born rich. Only his thoughts make him poor. And your thoughts are no longer poor. Your words are no longer small. Your soul is no longer locked behind shame. You are whole. You are chosen. You are now. So when the door opens, walk through it. Not as a guest, but as the heir. Walk in with your head lifted. Walk in without explaining your presence. Walk in without trying to earn your place. You are not here by accident. You are here by design. Say this: I receive as one who belongs. I inherit as one already named. I walk as one already welcomed. The kingdom does not reject me, it remembers me. And now, as your inner altar is cleaned, as the guilt is gone, as the shame dissolves like morning fog, you will notice something beautiful. The flow begins. What you blocked with guilt now moves without resistance. What you delayed through unworthiness now arrives without struggle. What you pushed away now returns, because the door is open. You are no longer standing outside. You are no longer pretending. You are no longer rehearsing self-punishment. You are resting in identity. You are trusting your divine origin. You are allowing the supply to come without shame. No more second guessing. No more questioning whether you've done enough. No more spiritual performance. Just presence. Just peace. Just the knowing. I am allowed to receive what already has my name on it. And the law? The law has waited for this moment. The moment your heart stopped flinching at the sound of its own goodness. Now that your heart is clean, the supply can finally flow. You are not asking the world to give you anything. You are commanding what already exists in spirit to appear. Because supply is not earned. It is claimed. Not by hustle, not by logic, not by convincing someone to choose you, but by speaking to the source that never runs dry. Florence said, "Man's supply is inexhaustible and immediate, but it must be spoken forth. Immediate, not eventual, not delayed until someone likes you, hires you, sees you. Immediate. Because, in divine mind, your provision is not pending. It is prepared. But the law cannot deliver what you keep trying to earn from people. So let it be said now. People are not your source. The job is not your source. The client is not your source. The bank, the algorithm, the circumstance, they are not the well. They are only the bucket. The well is divine. The well is infinite. The well is within. And the moment you speak from that place, not beg, not fear, not flatter, but declare, the water rises to meet your lips. Say this now. My supply is divine. It does not depend on man. It does not delay. It flows to me because I speak it forth in truth. You are not here to chase scraps. You are not here to deserve every dollar. You are not here to work until your body breaks just to eat. You are here to receive like royalty. But that reception requires one thing. You must stop calling lack realism. You must stop calling limitation wisdom. You must stop treating scarcity as permanent, because there is no shortage in spirit, only in speech. Every time you say, "There's not enough. It's hard right now. No one's buying. I don't know how I'll make it." You are speaking drought into a sky that was ready to rain. You are closing the very pipe that was trying to pour. And the law cannot override your mouth. So from this moment forward, you speak not from what the world shows. You speak from what God knows. Florence wrote, "Man's word is his wand filled with magic and power. And your wand has been waving lack into form. But now you turn it. Now you lift it differently. Now you speak with the voice of the supplied. Say it again. I am the channel for divine wealth. I do not depend on outer conditions. Supply flows to me through unexpected doors. I command what already exists. You are not wishing anymore. You are summoning. You are not knocking at the door. You are opening the one inside you. Because your abundance was never on the outside. It was never in the hands of another. It was never dependent on approval. It has always been in the mind of God. And now, it is in your mouth. Speak your wealth into motion. Speak your income with reverence. Speak your provision without apology. This is not delusion. This is law. And the law responds not to your need, but to your knowing. You say, "But what if I speak it and nothing changes?" The truth is, everything changes. Because when you speak from divine supply, you stop acting like a slave to circumstance. You stop performing for provision. You stop compromising your soul to feel safe. You stop attaching your worth to who signs the check. And that shift? It breaks the spell of not enough. It ends the false belief that money is outside of you. You are no longer the one chasing. You are the one commanding. And the money, the help, the opportunity, the solution, They are now responding to your inner decree. Say this: all that I need already exists. My voice is the signal. My belief is the path. My words create the release. You no longer bow to market trends. You no longer flinch at the numbers. You no longer worship timing or strategies. You bow only to Source. And Source has never been empty. Source has never lacked options. Source has never missed a deposit. You are now in rhythm with that supply. And every time you speak as one who is connected, the invisible world begins to organize around your alignment. Let others panic. You will prophesy. Let others chase. You will choose. Let others fear the numbers. You will walk in the knowing. Your supply is divine, and the well will not run dry. You are not building your future by calculation. You are building it by declaration. You no longer look at the outer world for signs of provision. You look within, and you speak until heaven echoes, because the law of divine supply does not respond to hustle. It responds to alignment, to certainty, to identity. You are not asking for miracles. You are aligning with the unbroken flow that has always been there. Even now the supply is already in motion. Not because you begged, but because you stopped pretending you were disconnected. Florence said, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." So what have you been seeing? Have you been seeing delay, scarcity, bare minimums, struggle? Or have you seen overflow, ease, unexpected increase, abundance that chases you down? You must decide. Because what you see becomes what you speak. And what you speak becomes what you live. Say this now. Asterisk, asterisk. I no longer speak what lacks. I speak what flows. I no longer fear collapse. I expect increase. I no longer treat supply as random. I treat it as certain, because I am connected. Asterisk, asterisk. You are not working for the blessing. You are moving in harmony with it. Your actions are sacred, but they are not your source. Your service is powerful, but it is not your well. You may receive money from people, but it is not from them. It is from Spirit through them. That's why Florence taught, no man is your friend, no man is your enemy. Every man is your teacher and your channel. So when the opportunity appears, you do not cling to it. You bless it, use it, flow with it, but you do not depend on it. Because the moment you attach your worth to the channel, you disconnect from the source. And the source is the only place that never runs out. Your supply is inexhaustible. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. Not because the market shifted, but because you did. And when you shift, the world has to reorganize. The people come. The payments come. The platforms open. The ways appear. Not because you forced it, but because you finally believed you were allowed. Let this become your morning practice. Before you check the numbers, before you look at the stats, before you open the emails, say this: divine supply flows to me now. It does not delay. It is not outside me. I am a magnet for wealth because I no longer resist receiving. Your job is no longer to calculate how it will come. Your job is to stay in the vibration that knows it must. You no longer identify as someone trying to make it. You now walk as someone who has already received. This is not just a mindset. It is a magnetic field, and everything that matches your voice will now rise to find you. The check you didn't expect, the client who says yes, the refund, the invitation, the open door. They're not accidents. They are agreements formed by your frequency because you finally stopped leaking your power into people, fear, and timelines, and you called it back. Now speak this. I summon what belongs to me. I speak as the supplied. I create my overflow through truth. I do not chase. I command. You are no longer watching the weather of money. You are the climate, and your climate is abundance. Your forecast is flow. Your economy is divine. And even when the world trembles, you stay rooted because your source is unshaken. Even when delay tries to whisper again, you say, I do not believe in delay, only divine timing. And it is now. This is how you walk now. Open hands, lifted head, steady heart, unapologetic worth. You are no longer counting coins. You are counting confirmations that the law is real, that supply is sacred, that your voice still holds the key. Because the well was never dry, you just forgot to speak. And now that the supply flows, you must protect it, not just from the world, but from your own mouth. It is one thing to receive your good. It is another to keep it, because the moment success enters your life, so does temptation. The temptation to worry, to fear its loss, to doubt it was real, to scan the sky for what might go wrong. And if you let that fear speak louder than your faith, you will speak your harvest into retreat. Not because the good wasn't meant for you, but because your words told it. You're not safe here. Florence knew this. She warned, fear and worry are reversed by praise. Not by panic, not by overthinking, not by frantic action, by praise. Because praise is not flattery. It is protection. It is spiritual cement. It is the act of saying, this blessing is safe with me. You have learned to speak things into existence. Now you must learn to bless them into staying. Say this now. What has come to me stays. I do not fear its loss. I do not curse my harvest with doubt. I protect it with praise. You are not afraid to receive anymore. But are you still afraid to hold it? How often have you gotten the thing, then immediately braced for its disappearance? You got the payment, then checked your account 3 times a day. You got the love, then waited for the silence. You got the opportunity, then looked over your shoulder, expecting it to vanish. But when you treat your blessings like they are temporary, they respond accordingly. Your praise is the shield that tells you're good. You are honored here. Your praise is the evidence that your nervous system has caught up to your miracle. Your praise is the vibration that invites the blessing to stay and multiply. Say this again. I do not fear good news. I do not chase it. I do not doubt it. I give thanks, and in my thanks, it multiplies. This is the law now. You do not protect your life through control. You protect it through gratitude. And gratitude must become your first language, even in uncertainty, even when the numbers dip, even when the client disappears, even when the check is delayed, because praise in the waiting prevents fear from taking root. Florence said, praise expands and multiplies one's good. So when things feel shaky, you don't go back to complaining. You don't spiral into lack language. You don't try to fix everything in panic. You stop. You breathe. You praise. You say, even now I give thanks. Even in delay, I bless what's mine. Even in silence, I know the supply is preparing something better. Because praise is not only a celebration, it is a weapon. It breaks the frequency of fear. It dissolves the vibration of loss. It reminds the universe that you are still aligned. You no longer let your mouth cancel what your soul just received. And every time you feel the fear rising, you don't push it down. You drown it in gratitude. Say this. Thank you for the door. Thank you for the flow. Thank you for the unseen hand still arranging my next increase. And when you say it, mean it, not as a ritual, but as a spiritual declaration that you are mature enough to hold what you've asked for. Because your praise proves your stability. Your praise proves your worthiness. Your praise proves that your life is no longer ruled by fear of loss. but by faith in what stays. Florence reminded her students, man must prepare for his good with praise, as if it were already done. So even before the good arrives, you start praising now. You start building the space for it. You start honoring it in advance. You start protecting your faith from erosion. Because this time, you're not letting your blessing escape. Not because you held tighter, but because you held truer. The blessing is not fragile, but your faith must be firm to hold it. Praise is how you anchor it. Not with panic, not with checking, not with fear disguised as control. You anchor it by saying, thank you even now. Thank you when it arrives. Thank you when it shakes. Thank you when you don't understand it yet. Because gratitude is not a reaction. It is a signal, a frequency that says, this belongs to me, and I will not fear its departure. Say this now. I protect what I receive, not with fear, but with praise. You are not being tested. You are being trusted. And praise is how you prove you are ready. Ready to receive without shrinking. Ready to hold without fearing the break. Ready to walk with blessings without questioning whether they'll stay. Florence said, every person is a golden link in the chain of my good. So when something leaves, bless it. When something stays, honor it. When something arrives, praise it. Let nothing in your life go unblessed. Let no door open without your gratitude. Let no gift enter without your praise. Because that praise becomes a seal. It tells the law. I am not just willing to receive. I am capable of sustaining. And when you praise your way through the storm, you are no longer shaken. You are no longer desperate. You are no longer dependent on what you can control. You are at peace with the flow because your words no longer curse it. Say this again. I do not sabotage with fear. I do not insult my blessing with complaint. I praise and my good remains. Praise is the rhythm of the mature, the chosen, the ones who no longer test the ground. They walk it. They bless it. They own it. And now that your word is protected, you are ready to walk through the final door. There comes a moment when you stop asking. Not because you've given up, but because you've finally remembered. Remembered what? That no one is coming to crown you. No gatekeeper holds your key. No outer event grants you permission to rise. Only you. This is the law of the final yes, and it does not come from the sky. It comes from within, Florence said. Success is a state of mind, and the door opens to one who expects it. You do not become successful. You decide that you are. Not based on numbers, not based on praise, not based on evidence, but because your spirit said, yes, it's time. You've waited long enough. You've prepared. You've cleared. You've declared. But this final step, it cannot be whispered. It must be claimed. No one else can say yes for you. Not your mentor, not your audience, not your past, not even your prayer. Only you can speak the final yes, the one that doesn't ask for signs, the one that doesn't apologize, the one that doesn't wait another day to believe. Say this now. I am the open door. I am the success. I am the one I've been waiting for. This is not the voice of ego. This is the voice of arrival. You're not faking anything. You're fulfilling what heaven already decided. You're not announcing it to convince the world. You're saying it to finally hear it yourself. You are not the request. You are the answer. You are not the question. You are the declaration. You are not waiting for someone to tell you you made it. You are walking like someone who has always been it. This is the law now. If you expect it, it opens. Not eventually, but immediately. Because the moment you decide you are the door, the world adjusts around that decision. Say it again. I no longer wait. I no longer knock. I no longer try. I have already arrived. This is the shift. This is the seal. This is the final alignment, not of effort, but of identity. You now speak, act, and walk as if the door never needed to open, because you were always on the inside. The blessing isn't on the other side. You are. You were never separated from your success, only from the belief that you were allowed to live in it. But now you are not seeking access. You are granting it. You are no longer at the mercy of timing. You are the timing. You are no longer praying from the bottom of the mountain. You are the mountain. Say it once more. My yes is final. My voice is enough. My presence is proof. No fear can cancel what you've accepted. No delay can shake what you've decided. No opposition can override a spirit that has said yes. Loudly, finally, eternally. And so, the secret door that once looked hidden, locked far away, you now see it clearly. You now know the truth. There was never a door, only a voice that had not yet said yes. And now, with all laws written into your voice, one truth remains. You are not becoming. You are not convincing. You are not beginning. You are. You came here, asking for the door. You leave, knowing you are it. No more reaching. No more waiting. No more knocking on timelines that do not answer. Because now you are the answer. You do not chase what already belongs to you. You do not beg for what breathes within you. You do not explain your blessing. You stand in it. Your word is no longer a question. It is a key. And when you speak, the unseen obeys. You are not here to be chosen. You are here to declare. And what you declare from truth becomes law. Not through force, through alignment, not through effort, through identity. You no longer carry fear in your voice. You no longer carry shame in your posture. You no longer carry lack in your breath. You carry the kingdom. You carry the sound of yes. You carry the vibration of arrival. Say this softly. I am the open door. I am the one who commands. I am the voice that makes the way. This is not performance. This is remembrance. And as you remember, everything you called missing now begins to gather, not as a reward, but as a recognition. Your presence is the signal. Your voice is the permission. Your knowing is the portal. You do not need another sign. You do not need another answer. You do not need another breakthrough, because the breakthrough is you. You are the doorway, the access, the path, the permission. Speak, and it shall move. Praise, and it shall stay. Know, and it is already yours. You are the door. You are the way. You are the word that opens all things. And now, you are no longer listening for the voice. You are the voice. Let it be still now. Let the sound fall away. Let the world return to silence. Because the voice you needed now lives in you. And there is nothing more to say, only everything to become.